And as we can see here, there's definitely an open keybind that you could place that ability on. Now, the two options that there are electric shock and echolocation. With echolocation, I think that it's a little bit difficult to implement because that involves sounds bouncing off of things and coming back, and there's not a great way to implement that, and or it would apply to very specific characters and opponents that you would run across, such as Loki and Invis and Psylocke, and giving him an ability where he's able to see or isolate characters that are not visible or have different clones of themselves present in order to isolate which one is which, just feels like it's kind of too niche of an ability. So rather, the ability that you could add, and my suggestion, would be something that represents his electric shock. Now, he is able to manifest that in terms of general electricity in the air, as well as kind of imbuing himself with that power and ability. So what I think could potentially be done is you could give him a state where he can empower both himself and potentially his squids as well that deal some electric damage. Now, I don't think that that should be damage on top of what he's dealing already. I think it should be a portion of that is dealt in electric damage and probably applied in a damage over time for about 2 or 3 seconds at the absolute most. So you would be dealing less damage on the offset, but it would deal additional damage even if that opponent retreats out of your immediate line of sight and doesn't have any kind of support, healing, or health pack that they are able to get to. That, I think, is something that you could do. Alternatively, you could give him an ability where he has another summon in the form of an electric eel or something else like that, but then having a creature that can, swim through the air and kind of navigate their way over to an enemy, that just doesn't feel like it's a great idea in terms of game balance, because you don't necessarily want to have a creature that can just kind of hone in on an enemy's position and pester them in that way. So I prefer the former suggestion as opposed to the latter. But what do you think? If there is something that Namor is missing, what would you like to see implemented, and how would you like to see that represented in the game? I'm interested to hear what you have to say in the comments, and we'll be back with another Duelist tomorrow.